Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Lions. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need read for April 2022? I am your reader, Mark, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. Link in the description box, and creator on Patreon. Patreon.com/Drawing the Circle. I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. I'm having so much fun with that in edits, you have no idea. If you are new to the channel, a 7-card draw just means 1 card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific astrological timeline, a waning moon timeline, a 2-week period. I do 5-card draws for the waxing, 7-card draws for the waning. So it is not a timeless read, it is very much a timed read. And you can certainly go back and look at one's past and compare it to different times in your life and see how that played out. Sometimes hindsight is 20/20. That's why there are playlists on YouTube. Let's look at this 2-week period. Full moon in Libra, Saturday, April 16th, 2:54 p.m. Eastern Time. I am in New York. And then we are looking at the 2 weeks of letting go, releasing, forgiveness. Shadow work. That's why it's a shadow read. Right, surrender, all of that stuff to clean the slate for the new moon in Taurus, Saturday, April 30th, 4:27 p.m. So it is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and check your other signs if you know them at this point. If you know at least your date of birth and your time zone, you can get probably your sun, your moon. Rising's tricky, but Venus you could probably get, and there are decent websites out there for free to do that. But what we're looking at here is you cleaning the plate for your to do what needs to be done, the alchemy inside of you that is going to affect the world through unity consciousness. I am well aware of what's going on planet Earth, in the Ukraine, and just everything in general. I watch the news and I pray every day, right? This is my job as a mystic, and so to help other people shift the vibe on the planet in this work. Shadow work is just really important right now, and if other people in power aren't doing it, then we have to. That's how it is. I wish it was different, but that's how it is. So that being said, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can to help you do what you gotta do and help the world in its time of need. Please take a nice deep breath. That was poetic. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, for the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, the angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, spirit animals, totems, as well as the pantheon of all pantheons, of all traditions, lineages, and cultures. Please, what is the dominant 8th chakra archetype using the Caroline Mace archetype deck, hovering over their heads, affecting all the chakras underneath it, right? Their electromagnetic field, what they attract, what they repel, in accordance to the soul power that they are alchemizing from lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, illusion to truth. Pick your alchemical language. This full to new, April 2022, the Samaritan archetype. Definitely scriptural. The Good Samaritan is certainly where I first heard of it, but I believe it's someone from Samara. Okay, so there you go. Like, I guess I'm a Holbrookian. I'm in Holbrook, New York, Long Island, New York. I'm a New Yorker, right? This is different. This is definitely different. Divine family archetype of the 9 families. The shadow attribute shows you what to shoot for in terms of the shadow work within yourself. Exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. Everybody has done that at some point in the journey, but you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? Eau de toilette, cologne, perfume, right? Everybody's had moments of it. Eau de toilette. If it's a habitual pattern that comes and goes in your life, you could say that's for a season, or maybe you're in a certain situation where that goes on for a season. Cologne. But if you've got it lifelong, that is perfume. It takes a while for that to wear off. So the shadow attributes certainly can be alchemized. And this is a beautiful thing. I have a touch of the Samaritan archetype, absolutely. I think it comes in for a reason, not a season or a lifetime. Refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. And if you saw what came across my phone, my laptop, my desk on the daily, you would get it. But you really have to trust your intuition to know when it's your dance and when it's not. I will say that. That's a journey. So refining refining, interesting word, refining, considering that is used in refining metal, which involves heat, time, and pressure, which is alchemy. Refining your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. That could be people in your life, right? You immediately think the homeless. Oh, Blue Jay. Blue Jay. Hi, Blue Jay. Oh, it's spring. It is in the air. My lilacs are starting to bud. Anyway, yeah, everybody wants to think of it as certainly homeless people, all of that stuff. I give when I can, when I got it. But what about the people in your life? Right? People that you would prefer to ignore. It could play itself out in a bunch of ways. So we're going to look at the next 4 chakras down. Crown chakra, third eye, throat, and heart. Spiritual power, mental power, willpower, emotional power. To see what's going on the inside, the yin side, the interior world, your feminine energy, your goddess energy, whatever you want to call it, using Daughters of the Moon Tarot, a feminist deck. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of air, the sign of Gemini, powers of the East, please, one card in clarity for the Gemini collective, as Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on, heart, third eye, crown there that they need to be aware of inside of themselves, because this is where the shadow work begins. We have to choose it. It's up to us to do it. No one can do our shadow work for us. There's not that much sage on that planet. It wouldn't work anyway. So please, in terms of lead to gold with the Samaritan, what's going on inside of them this full to new April 2/2. Did you just get the priestess, the high priestess Isis, the goddess Isis, almighty Isis, 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 Isis. I wanted that piece of jewelry so badly and had versions of it, particularly in the 80s. This is the high priestess card. A divine family archetype. When it's a major arcana, heart, third eye, crown, it's all 4 of them, right? As opposed to cups, which would be emotional power, the water. Now, this is unification, but it also means that you are being used by the divine. What is a priest or priestess but a vessel or a channel through which divine energy works, right? Aware or unaware. My chances are, my take is, chances are, if you're watching my channel, you've got a spiritual practice, but this is maybe something you're communicating, something that you're not. This is deeper hidden wisdom. Certainly speaks of intuition, and I would say heart, third eye, crown, creative intuition, right? Bringing all those 4 into alignment is key. If you check out the work, career, vocation reads, we go into that a lot more than we're going to hear. So, still a card of mystery, veiled truth, the most beautiful woman on planet Earth that no man can have because she belongs to the divine, and who's gonna try for that, right? Don't. Just don't do it. So that's the maiden in this deck, the mother and the crone, right? So there's all sorts of ways of looking at that. But let's look at the outside, lower 3 chakras, masculine energy. You looking at yourself horizontally from the outside, like in a mirror. Maybe you from the inside looking out into a person, place, or thing. A situation can be both of those things, often holographically, that mirror. But it is also about our relationships. I say this every time because I think it's so important. Root chakra is a tribal dynamic, and tribal in every sense of the word. 3 people or more, including, and I use this as an example because this is just what comes to mind. I was a member of the Bad Reputation Nation for a while, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, right? So, like, even that's tribal. Second chakra, one-on-one relationship, umbilical cord. Think umbilical cord to another person or thing, money, sex, power, right? addiction to a substance, anything like that. Second chakra, but third chakra, solar plexus, is your relationship to yourself. Now look, you got the High Priestess here. So your ethics, your personal power, the intuition that you get, which is first level of power, this is second level of power, this is first level of power, right? The intuition that only you get. What you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't. Your self-esteem and your intuition are so the same thing in a lot of ways. So let's see, Samaritan, breathe. I got a good vibe off whatever this is. Breathe. Could just be Gemini energy. In general, still point. Yeah, that's really helpful to do still point with Gemini. As I call upon my beloved gods of air, the sign of Gemini, powers of the East, please leave the card in my hands. This deck is really shuffled. It's practically warm in my hands. So please, what's going on? Lower three chakras, the yang, the external energy. For the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, that they need to be aware of. Samaritan, alchemizing in the 8th, High Priestess on the inner. What do they need? What do they need to be aware of? Lower three chakra dynamic, this full to new, April 2022. Four of Wands, good. You're resting well, at least, right? You have what you want pretty much around you in terms of four. Now, I know Four of Wands, hear it on YouTube. It's an engagement, it's a wedding, it's settling down. Maybe it is, but certainly in terms of being a Samaritan here, this is probably saying this is something then dealing with, like I never said it on that thing, people you wanted to ignore, you prefer to ignore. I've never said that in a reading before because it never occurred to me before. It can be somebody that you just rather ignore, that I would think is in your face, or at least in your living space, but there is a stability there, right? There is a stability there. Look, I have spent the pandemic living alone and working from home, so it's just me and my cats, and anybody who I would lower the drawbridge for, so to speak. Go visit my family every now and again up in upstate New York and Saratoga, but that's about it. So, you know, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with somebody like in my face all the time that I would prefer to ignore. But this could be a work situation. Again, it's a general read. But this does say that at least you are in a somewhat comfortable place. And it's also the 4 is the rest before the 5, right? The 5 of Wands in this deck, the Mythic Tarot, Jason and the Argonauts battling the dragon to get the golden fleece. So yeah, I could see this could be tricky. So let's get you a healing mantra, the Matt Kahn healing mantra deck, to help you through this, because a mantra is helpful when you're doing shadow work, and I cannot tell you how invaluable these have been for me and my clients who actually get the deck. And of course, people have reached out to me from the readings here on YouTube and on Patreon to let me know the mantra really works. I'm like, yeah, no, breathe. Very chatty, read gems. Still point. Thank you. Clears the static. As I call upon the Ascended Masters General Assembly, because this could be about anything, please. Well, if there's someone else they prefer to ignore, that's some kind of soul contract, twin flame, soulmate, what have you. So please, what is the perfect healing mantra for the Gemini collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. We'll read it from the bookie book. Give them what Matt Kahn's got to say. I don't read the energy on it, because they got the Samaritan archetype in a process of alchemy with the High Priestess on the inner, which says the throat chakra, it is open, but they're not speaking, is what I get from that. And with that 4 of Wands, that stability of fire, but that, you know, creative rest, a preparation for something coming. So what's the perfect healing mantra for them to help them with this shadow work, to help them heal with this shadow work? This full to new, April 2022. Untangling neglect. Aries got this, 'cause it's right in front of me. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. Well, Certainly, if you're more inward, you can do that. I take the time to give myself... So I'm just wondering, maybe there's another definition here. That's the thing about archetypes. You go in on different angles and you get different meaning. Refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. If you've been ignoring yourself. Just another take. I'm sure it may not be for everybody. I mean, we all do. But if you are experiencing neglect, that's one of the 4 ego wounds, according to Matt Kahn: abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. And the first 3, you may or may not have. Everybody's got the ego wound of loss. That illusion of separation for sure is there. Hold on, we're almost there. No. Are pages stuck? Untangling neglect, there you are. And this is something sometimes as simple as looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, you are doing the best you can, I fucking love you. Just saying, it helps. Untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. So maybe you're not getting approval from somebody here and you'd rather ignore them. When neglect is untangled, you're no longer turning to outside sources for constant reassurance and validation. Are you being ignored? This could mean so many things the more I read this. Instead, you are going within the depths of your own heart to notice the parts of yourself that require the presence of your attention. In nurturing yourself this way, you step forward as the first responder to each wound, concern, and desire. First responder to your own heart. With High Priestess, that's only going to help you heal, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be pleasurable as the shadow work goes on. Whatever arises, love that. First book by Matt Kahn. Let's keep going. From this space, there becomes less of a likelihood of attracting relationships where further neglect occurs simply because you have accepted your role as the one who nurtures the innocence within you. This mantra is ideal for building self-confidence, surviving codependence, maybe, and healing neediness. That's intense. That clicks together, and I got more on this card in this reading than I have ever before. Thank you, Gemini's figures. Not shocked at all, you big third housers. Let's go. The higher selves of all involved, the Whispers of Love Oracle. This is where maybe the romance card hits. It is a Whisper of Love Oracle, but I love this. Deck, Blue Angel Publishing, I'm pretty sure. Higher selves of all involved. Obviously, other people are involved here. Somebody had to neglect somebody. And somebody wants to ignore somebody, or at least prefer to. This could be at work. God, this could be so many ways it's playing out. Ugh, clairvoyance for fun and profit. Please take a nice deep breath. I'm sitting back for this one. Still point. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, what is the whisper of love for the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, so they can best alchemize this Samaritan archetype with the High Priestess on the inner, 4 of Wands on the outer, untangling neglect, taking the time to give themselves all the approval that they desire. Nobody has to know about it. Nobody has to know that they are doing this. Although they're Geminis, they'll probably tell people. So what is the piece of information, inspiration, insight? Let's keep it light. Let's keep the work light with the light work, please, for the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. This full to new April 2022, and I just got a kitty cat head bonky on my ankle. Love endures. This is probably in the title. Love endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. Endurance is a grace. I learned that from Carolyn Mace, which, by the way, also rhymes. Entering the Castle, Defy Gravity, those books, life-changing. I wrote a book, Words of Grace, and I call the grace of endurance the crone grace. There's the maiden grace, the mother grace, the crone grace. So it's in my book, link in the description box. The maiden grace of humility, the mother grace of hope, but the crone grace of endurance. Grant me the grace of endurance, the crone grace, that I may endure gracefully and gracefully endure, drawing upon a love, a wisdom, and a power from beyond this world. Right? That's the truth of who we are. That's the truth of who we are. That eternal soul. And why wouldn't you draw down? Like witchy poo is out there, if you know what I'm talking about. Let's raise a cone of power and draw down the moon. Certainly the full moon in Libra, that might be a good idea. Love endures. That you're getting stronger. This almost feels like a waxing moon thing, except you're untangling neglect. So there's a bit of a balance there, which makes sense for full moon in Libra. All right, 2 more cards, both booky book reads, but very cool decks. We're going to use the Divine Animals Oracle here, because if you're going to do the shadow work, know who's with you, right? The animal pantheon, they're just so much cooler than so many of the other ones, but you know, well, there's no accounting for taste. Let's not go there. So gonna use the magnifying glass, read a little bit from the bookie book, but I love using this deck. Please take a nice deep breath. Breathe with me, gems. Still point. As I call upon the spirit animals and totems for the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. Please, who walks with them, who swims with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them, doing the shadow work. Samaritan, High Priestess, 4 of Wands, untangling neglect, love, enduring it all. This full to new April 2022 for my Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. The horse, freedom. The horsepower, incredible. I wish you could see it. It's just the lighting that I have to make this work, and it's basically a white card. White horse running through a white arch thing, but from another dimension. Total portal jumping horse. Thought hurdle jumping. I wonder if that's ever going to be like a quantum Olympic event, right? Quantum horse jumping. Card number 24. The artwork in this is just extraordinary. Extraordinary. So I'm going to read you the first part, which is the verbal thumbnail sketch, so to speak. Then I'll read you the magic, but there's a lot of other cool stuff in here. I say it every time. Stacy DeMarco, excellent work. Breathe. Card number 24, horse, freedom. To be truly free, we must learn true independence. Trust yourself, as listening to people who may have other agendas is not a way to make good, clear decisions. Really? Individuation from our parents is a natural process, although it is often fraught with difficulty on both sides. Your true power resides in your ability to always know you have a choice, and it is yours to make. Let's read you the magic, horse magic. Now, I remember, this is long. But it's worth it. And may something here really resonate and help you if you are a magic user, which sounds like Dungeons and Dragons. Horse magic is profoundly free and powerful. To ride a horse at full gallop is to experience a sacred bolt of the most primal liberty. When you are feeling trapped or small, expand your field by calling for their energy. This is so High Priestess, by the way, like tuning yourself to it as the High Priestess. No one needs to know. There is also a long history in physical and mental healing with horse energy, and this can be used when you are ill or unstable. Horse energy invokes a calm and solid presence and can be used to quiet your spirit if you are feeling disturbed. Not really seeing that. but that strength and the freedom, think of being tangled in the wound of neglect and untangling that. It's both a waxing and a waning reed. Horse magic is also an expression of trust. A powerful horse could go anywhere it wants, yet it is willing to be led. A person trusts the horse to be sure-footed, leap, and run away from danger, while the horse trusts the human to be its partner, to not hinder, to take care of it, to guide it. It can be a very deep bond if you allow it to be. I have a feeling Ms. DeMarco has a horse or a strong connection to one. I'm like that with cats, except they're a bit crazier. If you are ever doubting yourself or feeling trapped, engage some horsepower. There you go. Expand your field by calling for their energy. And expand your field is very Gemini. I will say that. Mutable air sign with freedom, that's your gig. That's why I try not to date any of you. That's why when I meet someone who doesn't have their at least sun, moon, rising, and Venus, I'm like, all right, we'll see. Where's the pendulum? Grab me a dowsing rod. Yeah, I've done it with coat hangers. Who hasn't? Last card down, the Blessed Bee. The Hidden Blessing from Lucy Cavendish, or Love at Work. The mystical blessing cards to enrich and empower. The hidden blessing is the gold within the lead, is the light within the shadow, is the peace within the pain, right? If you do the alchemy. And we do these blessings for real. This book is intense. I love how she writes. The artwork is exquisite. I guess I don't work with decks I don't like, which is good. But we're going to do them full force. So, here we go. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the pantheon of all pantheons, all traditions, lineages, and cultures, please, one card in clarity, reveal the hidden blessing, give them a clue, a tip, a hint, the Gemini collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs of the blessing within this shadow work process, the light at the end of the tunnel, what they are shooting for and what they may not see now, but if they give it their best, they'll see it. Alchemizing this Samaritan, refining their capacity to help those they would prefer to ignore. With the High Priestess on the end and really being a channel, they're going into the stillness, right? That part of us that is forever virgin, forever untouched, and belongs to the gods within everybody. I know, everybody. Do you believe it? Four wands on the outer, that stability of fire, but also a time of rest, but that does foretell the five, the change coming as they untangle neglect, taking the time to give themselves all the approval they desire, so that the love within them endures, does not give up, doesn't lose faith. It's hopeful and withstands every situation, particularly if it's a living situation, but in some way calling in their own choices, their own freedom, calling in the horse to just work with them, a little horse magic. Oh, horseshoe, something as simple as that, something horseshoe shaped. They could do a little something, something, waning moon. What's the hidden blessing for the outrageous, the truly outrageous, the truly, truly, truly outrageous Geminis? This full to new, April 2/2. A blessing for a fresh start. Ooh, and she got a broom, and that is a raven. Check her out. Whoever is designing her stuff is fabulous. Your cape is fabulous. She looks amazing. That's definitely overtone indigo for brown hair. I'm not sponsored, but if I was going to be sponsored, I would want to be sponsored by Overtone. Rich Black. Kidding, not kidding. I'm going to read this from the bookie book. I would just take the free stuff. They wouldn't even have to pay me. Just give me free stuff. Card number 34. I told you I was going to try and keep it light, Geminis. During a very intense time on planet Earth, right? Give you a little levity, a little altitude in your attitude so that you can make a difference in this world, because we all do one way or another. Oh, sorry. Blessing for a fresh start, which, by the way, makes sense. Shadow read. Clearing the slate for a fresh start. We do these for realsies. Last time. Maybe. Breathe. Say it through me. Pantheons of the Divine. Card number 34, a blessing for a fresh start. A blessing for when we must begin a part or even a great deal of our lives anew. A blessing upon you as you strike out from the familiar place which, for all its troubles, was a place you knew. May the uncertainty which surrounds you and the fear of what may come be quelled as you bravely take those first steps and begin to create the new life which was always yours. For destiny would have made this so. May you find comfort in the ease with which you find yourself embracing the new, and may the loneliness you encounter become more akin to solitude. A time of re-knowing your own self, as the world no longer can tell you who you are over and over again. May the breaking free of what tethered you renew your strength. And as you tremble from time to time, wondering if you ought to have stayed within the cage, know you are being watched over and encouraged by the divine ones who wish you all the blessings in the world. The Four of Wands is bars of a cage. Maybe. Symbolically. Let's hope. May you embrace the differences, adapt and explore who you are, and know that when you give yourself this great chance, you offer yourself a great gift of recreation, of the transformation of self and the realization of your own personal truth. May this fresh start be a blessing to you and give you the knowledge, the certain, unquestionable faith that you can break free of winter. That springtime is within your life, and it has come through your own creation. And you have gathered up all the power you had and struck out far from the self and all ways you knew in order to be free. Freedom. To be wild. To be wholly your own self again. A blessing to you, child of the earth, on this fresh start, which will come to you as soft as a flower breaking free of a bud. As strong as a butterfly emerging from the cocoon, there may be struggle within this shift, but no, your every movement towards the new is divine, is noticed, is energetically supported with the blessings of all the wild world. For the wheel must turn, and every point on that wheel is a blessing. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So let it be. And so it is. That is a jigsaw puzzle read, right? Yeah. You got to refine the Samaritan in you, right? Just helping someone you prefer to ignore, but doing it silently as a priestess with this time out, kind of sort of before the things go to the 5. So you're untangling neglect, taking the time to give yourself all the approval you desire, and the love inside you will make you endure whatever it is that you are going here while you call to the horse and use that freedom magic to wild and woolly and Gemini mutable air out there, being your authentic self, not caring really what anybody else thinks about you, because you're doing you, you are free. And that of course clears the way for a blessing for a fresh start, which may not be easy, But in retrospect, you will see, in order for you to be who you were born to become, life couldn't have been any other way. And that's a soul truth that the ego don't like. So did you like the video? Hit that thumbs up button right now and help the other Geminis find it. Y'all need it. You need to know your freedom is on the table here. Work it, right? And if you want more of me here on YouTube, I don't know, go ahead and subscribe if you like. I'm up for it if you are. But if you really want to play, you want to go deep, Gem, you're in a deep mood, Gemini, are you? Let's see. Come play on Patreon, patreon.com/join-the-circle. Why? I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Really, seriously, do your deal, do your shadow work, help this world, shift your vibe, and get us all into that golden timeline where this all works out somehow better in a way than any of us could ever imagine. Otherwise, wishing you no pressure. Otherwise, wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed of this full to new in April 22. I love you. Al, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.